What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Fourth and Wrong. We're back.
Back and I don't know about better than ever. We're back.
Yeah, for some of us, worse than ever. Who knows?
What? No. What happened now?
Football related. Football, of course.
Yeah, honestly, I will tell you, I feel like you dragged me down into your fucking bullshit with FSU because
how's it feel?
We've been doing a podcast for 8 years, and then we stopped, and then Bama fucking loses to Oklahoma and misses the playoff. Like,
oh man, Thomas Castellanos is our QB now.
He feels like public school DJU.
No, I think he feels like very, very poor man's like Kyler Murray.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's about the same size.
Yeah.
Dude, where do we start? Like we could have done a show on just the stuff that happened today.
With Bill Belichick?
Rich Rodriguez is getting hired at West Virginia.
Dude, college football is about as weird as I've ever seen it. I feel
Shooter Sanders came out as gay today?
No,
I made that up. No.
Okay, I was about to say.
That should be the whole show.
Just making up random things, yeah. Yeah, dude, so I think we should start with the playoff. I mean, I logged in every 4 hours and just threw a jab at Alabama.
Oh, I saw. Yeah. And then wanted to start the podcast back up.
You liked every single one of them, too.
Yeah, that was I mean, okay, so because I don't even remember the last time we did a show, but
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Bama never deserved to be in it. Like anybody, yeah, I got new glasses, I got a full beard.
That beard is coming in thick. I like it.
Dude, you should have seen the mustache. Today, I had like a cat whisker, or yeah, a lot of white in there too. You just can't see it.
I know. Every time I let mine get a little too long, the chin's getting gray, and it's not good.
Yeah. So Bama deserved to be out of the playoff, like flat out. Like I don't.
Yeah, I would say
about that.
I was thinking if SMU wouldn't have made that a game and got blown out by Clemson, maybe you'd have an argument. But I just think that if you set that precedent that the conference game really doesn't matter, then if you're SMU, that's what I'm saying. If you're SMU and you're like, well, if it's going to potentially knock us out, Rhett Lashley even said, he's like, what if my whole team just gets COVID and we can't play?
Well, then don't fucking play. Jimbo Fisher did it. He missed the whole bowl game on it. Hold on, I'll push back on you on this one because your shit ass conference of the ACC, they had 3 good teams all year, and none of them had to play each other once. The winner of that game, it was the
Sounds
first.
Like great scheduling. Talk to Greg Sankey about that. Kirby did.
He's an idiot. That was awesome. That was the best part of the whole weekend. Here's I don't think SMU had a better resume. I think that Alabama would probably beat them. I don't know, but every time Bama had an opportunity. I don't think every time they had their path and own their own, control their own destiny, they just in historic fashion, pissed down their leg. My whole thing was it was never an argument for Bama. I thought South Carolina deserved to be in over all 3. And I've watched teams with Bama that they got hot and the entire time they would talk about oh man, they're playing the best football in the country right now. And I thought South Carolina was that. They had the longest win streak out of any team in the SEC. I understand they got beat by Ole Miss. They got beat by Bama. I understand the argument that all 3 teams wanted to make. I thought Bama had the worst argument. The only reason we were talking about Bama is because the fucking committee inexplicably put them there on Tuesday. And then it became oh, shit, this is going to happen?
Yeah,
that's weird. But I guess this we just need to prepare ourselves for it. And the thing about you said about that just sets a precedent for the conference championship games don't matter. I tell you what, man, if that's true, if that point is actually valid and true, how come the Big 12 championship game, the moment it was announced, we all knew and understood winner's going to the playoff, loser has no chance. Both those teams were 10-2. Both of them had better strength of schedules and resume than SMU, but we knew from jump, whoever lost that game was out. And all of a sudden it was but all the conference championship games matter, not just to win, but just even as a participant. And the last thing I'll say is if you're saying the Big 12 championship game didn't matter and it was just the ACC game that mattered, Clemson won the ACC championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How many spots they jump up? When they beat the number 8 team in the country in a neutral site championship game. How many spots they go up?
What were they, 14 for the game?
They were 17.
And then what did they jump to? 14, like
16.
Yeah.
They moved up one spot, and then the team that they beat was 5 spots ahead of them 12 hours after they beat them. Like, so fuck off. Like, fuck off, Ward Manuel.
Well, dude, the committee's an absolute joke. I seriously think that if we had playoffs that were based off of BCS rankings and we actually took like computer schedules and everything into consideration, that would be the best way. I don't want to leave it up to these people like who clearly have affiliations with conferences.
I forget that guy's from Michigan.
Yeah, last year the guy was from NC State. Thanks for a lot for that, ACC.
Yeah,
but it's like I don't know, and it just leaves room for conversations like everyone has, which is like they fucked us. Like,
yeah.
If you leave it up to a computer, it's like everyone's just going to trust it. I mean, there's no emotion to that. Like,
I think the thing that was frustrating for me is I thought Bama was going to get in. I did not think they deserved to, but we watched last year, and when that A popped up on the screen instead of the Florida State one, I was in shock. But it was like, I think I don't think that Bama got the benefit of the doubt in 2011. Bama was the best team in the country along with LSU. They were better than Oklahoma State. I don't think that Bama got the benefit of the doubt in 2017. They won the national championship, and they didn't lose by 31 to a fucking unranked Iowa team like Ohio State did. Ohio State had more losses. So, like, the argument that Bama gets all the breaks is kind of stupid. I think the big thing for me was there's a fucked up part of me that is petty enough that it made me happy to see it fail for the SEC because I think there needs to be change, and I don't think they would have changed anything without what happened on Saturday. Because Sankey was part of the people that made the plan.
I know.
He had a hand in making this whole thing.
And then it's like, dude, you chose to go get Texas and Oklahoma and make the SEC and completely change the landscape of all of college football.
Right.
Everyone had to start consolidating. So I just don't want to hear bitching from that guy very much, to be honest.
I tell you what, out of all the conference commissioners, it's least believable when he does it. I have been a very big proponent and fan of Sankey and like.
Well, he's a great commissioner for the SEC. I mean, he goes out of his way. He goes on TV whenever he can to, prop up his teams, which you should do as a commissioner.
He didn't do it this year.
Well, I don't know.
I tell you what one of the issues I had, it's bizarre to have seen this in a conference that has like been so good at making like the spectacle of itself, like those games prime time or the CBS 3:30 game, like the SEC championship, like it is an event when an SEC like championship happens or like top 5 teams of the SEC, like, and we get it multiple times a year. I thought like the broadcast stuff has been great. You switching from CBS to ABC, that's been great. But you had the opportunity. You knew what you were doing 3 years ago when you brought him in here. You had the opportunity to make this fair and have like a balance with the scheduling. And there were 2 teams that were on the field on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. One of them hadn't played or didn't have a win over a currently ranked team all season long, had 2 wins against SEC opponents that were above 500. 6 of their 7 other wins were against teams in the bottom 7 of the standings. And then you had another team who ended up winning, by the way, with a backup quarterback. Oh, by the way, Texas also got the benefit of playing 4 of their 8 opponents with backup quarterbacks.
Did Texas ever beat a ranked team this year?
No.
I know Michigan was ranked at the time, but let's be honest.
Currently ranked teams.
Yeah.
And then the other team they were facing that was on the same field, they had the collision course for each other. The other team played their 6th opponent that was ranked in the top 20, and the 5th time it was away from home. Like that's a fucking joke.
Yeah. Wait, what do you think about that game? Let's talk about that real quick. The Texas-Georgia game. I was there in the stands. Regrettably, yeah.
That was tough.
No, you had good reasons. Look, the game, it was crazy. I actually saw it coming, but I was sitting on the Texas side.
Yeah.
And I did have some Georgia fans sitting behind me. And, the person that I brought was rooting for Georgia. The people I was with were Florida fans, but rooting for Georgia because they didn't want Texas to win the SEC in their first year.
I kind of feel that, yeah.
So it was a mixed bag, but I go to my buddy to my right, and I look. We look up at the top, and it was like, I swear to God, now I had a few cocktails, but I swear to God, it said like Georgia had 9 yards total, and Texas had like almost 200, but it was
Oh, in
six.
the first half?
Yeah, but it was 6-0, and I
Yeah.
was like, you see, this isn't gonna work.
No.
They are dominating them, and Georgia could just pop one touchdown and be in the lead of this game. And at halftime, that's what I was telling all the Georgia people. Like, Georgia's going to win this game. I didn't get to see it coming. The kicker.
The difference in those two programs too is that, like, what you just described, that's exactly. Well, I mean, actually, the scoreboard was definitely different, but like what Georgia did to Texas in the first game, where they held them to the lowest amount of first half yardage in a regular season game in like 20 years. I mean, Georgia had nothing going in the first half, but like. No. I think that one of the biggest things that I've realized this year, and I don't give a shit about the scheduling. I'm not even going to get into the fucking 9-game shit that Big Ten fans want to talk about. But like, I've always said, like, I don't give a shit about playing Mercer. I like to win, and I want to win championships. So if an 11-1 season gets me into a playoff, like, I don't give a shit. If you want to bitch and moan about, well, they didn't play in a ninth conference game, like, whatever. Like, I like winning. So it's great when you hit these big games for the fans, but as I can attest this year, even though they didn't lose to all the good teams, they lost to 2 really shitty ones really, really badly, as you pointed out on Twitter a lot.
Boom.
but like
firing those tweets. Look at my fingers after.
That's a lot. No, so here's the thing though. They like, how do I phrase this? I don't know. I think I just lost my train of thought. Oh, no. So the thing that I think that is probably more important than anything, Evan can probably attest to this too, because you've seen it with Georgia before. Like that 2021 season for Georgia, they didn't really play anybody. Like they played Clemson in week 1 as a top 10 matchup, but Clemson ended up being kind of shitty. And then they got to the SEC championship game, and it was clear that they were really good and talented and like statistically dominant. But they got punched in the mouth in Atlanta for the first time all season, and they didn't react well to it.
Yep.
I don't think Texas is that good. Like this idea that Texas is going to win a national title, and everyone just believes it. Like everyone is like, oh my God, they are so good. Like Quinn Ewers, every time he steps on the field, it's more and more clear. Like he is not a good quarterback. Like he's fine.
So if you're a Texas fan, what do you hope happens there in the offseason?
He already went through senior day, dude. He is out the door.
So but I mean, I can't see him getting drafted high.
He's my boss thinks he's the best quarterback in the SEC, which is
okay. Well, look, I mean, outside of Cam Ward and Shador, like I think it's wide open after that because, and I'm surprised I'm saying that on Shador. I wasn't a big Shador guy. I think he's proven enough that if you keep the sideshow shit, which I mean, that's always going to be a problem. Yeah, but he's done a good job of that ever since that whole O-line thing.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
It's wide open because I mean Carson Beck, dude. Like, talk about another like. What are Georgia fans? I mean, does he have eligibility for one more year? Or is he done? For like, he can't come back.
I just have to say this and I have to get off my chest. Did you see the picture circulating of Carson Beck?
I mean, which one? Was it one of the Snapchats?
One of his huge ass dick?
No. I did not see that one. Like, why do they keep sending those out?
I understand why he did, for sure. I get why he did.
But but the ones before that were just his face.
Yeah, that's not what I would have gone with if I was him.
A little some.
I would have led with the dick on that one.
I thought he had a girlfriend. Does that?
I don't think they're. The timeline on it, I think, is different. Okay. No, but I agree with what you're saying. Like he's also been good at times. He's also struggled at times. Milroe is clearly, I might have been wrong about that.
He's coming
real
back.
bad.
Is he coming back? Didn't he announce
I don't think that they.
I never even know what's real on Twitter, but I thought I saw there was an announcement that he was coming back.
No, that was fake. That was Conway Vinny. I don't get the feeling from people that are around it that like I think DeBoer just wants to get his system in place, and I think it's like pretty obvious that at this point, like Jalen Milroe was better in Tommy Reese's offense than he is for Kalen DeBoer, and for whatever reason,
doesn't run the quarterback, does he?
Huh?
Like Penix was not like a running threat last year.
No, but like what's weird about the DeBoer thing too is that like they had a running back last year who they had one guy who got a majority of the carries, the kid that transferred to Mississippi State. He had like 1,400 yards. Like
Dylan,
I mean, yeah. He still put up like a good year. Like, dude, if I'm Justice Haynes, I'm gone yesterday. Like those running backs, I think Haynes averaged 7.5 carries a game or 6.5. It's like, fuck am I doing here? So
Richard,
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna. I think Milroe is gonna have to go pro because I don't know how much more he could put on tape that people are gonna be like, oh, you really turned a corner. I think people have their mind made up on him.
No, I think people's original analysis on him was probably too far as far as like, oh, he's a great runner, but he sucks as a thrower. But I also don't think he's as good of a thrower as we thought he was maybe last year. And so, yeah,
Oklahoma game, he didn't get a lot of help.
Yeah. 3 points again. I mean,
they had several drops. Like, bad dream, man.
So would they go portal or would they go with the kid that's Ty Simpson?
I don't know. I mean, they just signed Keelan Russell, who's like one of the top players in the country. Dude, back to Ewers. Like, I don't think Sark would be like, hey man, you got to go. I don't think Arch Manning is going to sit another year.
No chance. No, you can't. I mean, yeah, you're gonna risk losing, man. Can you imagine if Arch Manning hit the portal? How much NIL money he would command?
Dude, he's already the third highest NIL like paid player in the country. I think he started like a game and a half because of injuries. And like he's not even. Dude, he opted into that stupid video game because remember he said he wasn't going to do it.
Oh, he did. I didn't even see that.
He got $60,000 for it.
Oh, nice.
Everyone else got like $500, and he's like, I'm not doing it. And then he opted in, and he got $60,000 to do a commercial.
It's pretty savvy, actually. Dude, you like it is insane these NIL numbers that I'm hearing in the transfer portal. Without getting specific, because I don't want to out anybody. My buddy's got his business partner has a son who plays G5 level, a good G5 team. Doesn't start, but he was a very quality backup on a G5 team.
Yeah.
He has $300,000 offers from 2 schools and 2 $500,000 offers.
No, as a backup at G5?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about it off air.
D-line.
Oh, yeah. So that does make sense. Like, dude, Bear Alexander is about to get broke off again.
The system is so screwed up, dude. Because you can't blame these players for like, if someone's coming to you and like, hey, I'll pay you $1 million if you leave your team and you're making like $100,000, you're gonna be like, yeah, okay. I mean, I love this place, and that's you're seeing it. I mean, how many? I can't tell you how many tweets I've seen from Hayes Fawcett that's like, so and so's tweeting. He previously played at Baylor, TCU, and Texas. It's just like,
yeah,
he's transferring for the 4th time, huh? It's just like,
how. Like, what does his fucking work day look like during this? Because, like,
how does he make all these edits? I mean, there's got to be some sort of template that he could just drop somebody's face into and it just changed it. Because, like, how could you make so many edits?
There were 1,537 players that entered at the end of day one. To put that in perspective, in the entire year in 2019, 2020, it was like 1,600. Like, it's been crazy. So here, I'll tell you some stuff from behind the scenes that like I've gotten to kind of learn throughout the season, and I won't get into any like specifics, but like, so like obviously LSU is close to my current role or like my main job. I will say this: I love Brad Crawford to death. Does a phenomenal job for 247 Sports. He's tweeted out several things over the last couple of days. I'm not saying this in a negative way towards him. I can just tell you with 1,000% certainty that at least for LSU, that number that he has been tweeting out is completely wrong. It's like
about who?
Like,
The
so he put out a list of like, this is what the speculated numbers are.
yeah.
And it's like, I think LSU was around 20 million. That is like not even close. Like not
Way
even
too
close.
low?
Way too high. Like
Way too high.
What it was last year. Now they were obviously they expanded that because of the Bryce Underwood situation. But like, I'll walk you through the NIL stuff from at least like the LSU side of it, which is very fascinating because of the situation they're in, right? So in the spring window, they needed defensive line help. So the defensive line, it's like quarterback, defensive line, and then left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the NFL, those are like the premium, like
and now
highest paid positions, and people are going to pay a lot for them.
Receivers up there too. No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, but that's almost like it's an oversaturated thing. But
Not
like,
that I'm hating or anything, by the way. But speaking of that, like, I love how Georgia Tech's best receiver jumps in the portal, and like as part of the announcement, it was like, I'm visiting Georgia. It's like,
yeah, he's the number one player in the entire portal.
It's just like,
and
then they fucking told on us for tampering with Amarius Mims, and we got in trouble. It's like, oh, nobody fuck with Georgia, but we'll do whatever we want.
Okay, so I forgot who the guy was, but there was a guy who was from G5 who went and he visited LSU, and he was like, I want $900,000. And they were like, no, like we have, like our highest paid player makes this, and it's Will Campbell, and you would be getting more than him. Now we need that position, but we're not going to have this G5 player come in and make that much more than a bona fide top 10 All-American left tackle, like top 10 NFL draft pick, all that shit. So the issue with like LSU is like they had a weird situation when they started the NIL era, because you got to keep in mind, like, they had to fire Orgeron, right? They had to pay him $17 million as part of the buyout. When that happened, then they also had to give a pay raise to Jay Johnson because he won a national championship in baseball, and then another one for Kim Mulkey when they had to get her from Baylor, and then she won a national championship. So that's twice.
Then you got to keep Olivia Dunn on campus,
right? Then you had to go get a new basketball coach because Will Wade,
Livy,
and then you have all this, and it's like you've spent well over $35 million, and now you have to start paying players. So they had Bryce Underwood, like, committed forever. And they were going to pay him like around, like, I think it was like $4.5 million the first year. Like that's like, or $3.5 million. It's like, that's a really,
not 1 year.
Huh?
1 year
for the first year. I think the total package was like $7 million, like overtime. And
what he got at Michigan? I thought he got 7 at Michigan. Is that
12.5 at Michigan?
Good God,
dude, high school senior, 12.5.
Never put on a college field.
So then they also had a defensive back, Cade Phillips, who ended up getting they had 1.6 promised to him for his first 2 years. Texas came in, offered him more, so he went to Texas. And then they lost someone else it was Jakeem Stewart, who ended up going to USC. They offered him 1.25. Think about this, Tyler. This is how crazy this is. Jakeem Stewart he played his sophomore season in high school. Then he was the number 1 ranked player in 2026. He reclassified to this year, then transferred schools, wasn't allowed to play because of the transfer rules in high school. So he hasn't played at all. So he's also entering college a year ahead of time. So he's going to go into college at like 17 years old, hasn't played football since his sophomore year of high school. He got $2 million. He got $2 million from USC.
He's D-line?
Yeah.
Dude, a 17-year-old D lineman, I guess SEC would be even worse, but is not going to play in the Big Ten for his first year.
Right.
So you're just going to pay him just to basically practice for a year.
He'll probably play at USC, but it's like, but either way, they had 1.25 that they had promised to him, and USC came in with 2. So now you're like flush with money. Like you have all this money, and you can go into the portal and go get some guys. So like it'll be fascinating to see who they go after and where they spend the money.
Thomas, our top recruit.
Who?
Solomon Thomas, the tackle that they signed on signing day.
Yeah.
See his interview after? He was like, "It's just really regrettable. I really wanted to go to Florida State. It's just."
He did not say that.
I swear to God.
No, he did not.
I swear. I'll find the video.
Hey.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know if he said regrettable, but he was like, "I'm disappointed I didn't get to go to Florida State," is what he said.
I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna pay all these kids, man. Because it's like they
have this house rule coming down, which basically caps how much everyone can make. But I just think that's just they're pretty dumb if they think that people are just gonna say, "Yeah, we're gonna stick to that 20 million cap number for all athletes on campus to pay." They're still going to be getting deals behind the scenes with these collectives. Like, let's be real. Nobody's going to adhere to that rule.
No.
I don't know how they're going to – I don't know how this is going to be – I don't know how they're going to do it.
Dude, crazy. What's crazy to me is every player that's in the portal thinks they are going to go get paid. And some of them are going to get paid a lot. Like, Bear Alexander is going to – dude, I saw the other day I saw it today. Jackson Arnold – is the fourth highest ranked quarterback in the class. Now, keep in mind, he was a 5-star plus, top 10 overall player in the country coming out of high school. We have seen him play for a full season, and he was awful. And
good at running.
He was fine at running. But, like,
he's a quarterback, so.
He's leaving Oklahoma, and now Mississippi State is the favorite to land him because Jeff Lebby is his old OC, right? Mississippi State has a quarterback, a true freshman, Michael Van Buren, that was great this year.
No, he's in the transfer portal.
I know, because they're going to throw all this money at Jackson Arnold, who we've seen play. And now they're saying that Arnold is their teams are in a bidding war. Auburn and Mississippi State are in a bidding war, and the number's 1.2 million.
Yeah. Dude, our quarterback who was starting at the end of the year, true freshman, he was a 5-star out of high school.
Yeah.
Basically came to Florida State and was like, "We want 7 figures to stay." And they were like, "Dude, we went 2-10 this year. We have to win next year." Like, the kid had a 45% pressure to sack rate. So every pressure that he faced, basically every other one, he got sacked. Like, you can't start next year against Alabama with that. You have to have somebody who's played like multiple years.
Yeah.
And so as soon as he found out we were bringing in a transfer, he was like, "Well, I want 7 figures or I'm transferring." And we said, "Nope." And he hit the portal. So that, this kid they put in, he was the first ever offer they ever gave him. He never started football until senior year because he played behind Holden Garner, who was played at Auburn in high school. We gave him his first offer. He committed to us when he was a 3-star. He developed, went 5-star, 2 years of recruiting him, got him on campus, transfers after a year.
What's insane is that 25% of the people that enter the portal, they do it within their first year of college.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, when I was 18, like, if anything would have happened, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
This is my emo phase.
Putting up some Hawthorne Height lyrics on my Facebook status and fucking jetting.
Yeah, I'd be just jamming to some My Chemical Romance, tears running.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, there's just like, I'm glad we did a show again. We're gonna have to do another one, but like,
yeah,
dude, there's so much shit that's happened in football, and I was telling Allie about this earlier. I'm looking at like the On3 like trending topics. It's like Bill Belichick, head coach at UNC, Rich Rod, coach at West Virginia, Garrett Nussmeier's coming back, SEC. Like, it's just there's just, I don't know, man. There's like so much shit that's happening.
Michigan hired Chip Lindsey as their OC. Yeah, it was funny. Did you ever go on Action Network and read some of their articles?
Yeah. So by the way, fuck Brett McMurphy.
Damn, that was kind of cold.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, "I'm going to just fuck this whole day up."
I think it was like seconds into it. It's like,
kind of funny, though, to be honest. Not that I'm a big fan of McMurphy. But so Action Network has this transfer portal tracker deal for all the bowl games. So you kind of go on there. If you're looking to bet a game, these days, like half the team is opting out, transferring. If they go game by game, nearly every like the first like 10 bowl games, it's like, well, this head coach actually left for this other job, so it's interim coach here, and this guy, the first, Coastal Carolina, all three of their top 3 QBs fucking transferred.
So even got Auburn's.
Yeah.
Dude, like, have you seen Arkansas? Arkansas had 21 players in the portal in day 1. I don't.
Yeah, there has to be something going on there. Because it was like a lot of like talented like O linemen, like the kid that's about to commit to Ole Miss.
And they're all going to Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like next year. Like Bama's gonna have to go get a couple of good players. I tell you what, like the other team that I cover and had this season, it's been a lot of fun. And you guys are lucky that we stopped recording, because you would have heard every single fucking week about South Carolina being a playoff contending team. But like, I tell you what has been really interesting to watch too. It's like Darren Ursher, who's their director of player personnel. He's like giving me like a little bit of insight, like nothing crazy. And one of the things that South Carolina did, now this is a new trend. This is going to become part of college football. And your thoughts on this? Did you see the comment that was made, or the announcement about Dylan Stewart?
No, I don't think so.
So like during the portal, right? Everyone's like,
he was like coming back.
So he makes an announcement that he signed a new $1.5 million deal, and he will stay in Columbia next year. And you're like,
I saw someone put out, I'm pretty sure it was fake, but it was like this like 8-year-old kid that was transferring AAU teams.
Yeah.
So it was like 4'2", 49 pounds.
Well, one thing that was like impressive, the way South Carolina handled that, was like they started working on negotiating his contract in like the bye week going into November. Like they were ahead of this whole thing and realized like, hey, as soon as that portal hit, like, because here's the thing, man, if you have so many things going on, like you're trying to
get contacted in season. I mean, the person that I know that's the G5 kid, like teams have been reaching out to him since October.
That's insane. And also, again, when I was 18, if somebody came in, and especially if I had any level of frustration, and I probably would be frustrated if I was like, hey, coach, can we talk about my deal? And then he was like, hey, we're in the middle of a fucking season. Like, but then you have all these other coaches that are trying to promise you all like everything under the sun because they are not playing for anything. Like the moment the portal opens, because I think it's like, I want to say it's like 2 or like 6% of the players that enter the portal ever take their name out of it. Like you're in there, you're almost certainly gone. And like, again, I think you were trying to make a joke, but I think it's a really good point. Like these are 18, 22-year-old kids. Like you would have 1,000% multiple times seen at 3:49 in the morning, Chris Marlar has entered his name in the portal because of some shit that happened. Like
Chris Marlar has withdrawn at 8 a.m.
Yeah, right. Somebody hacked my account. But I mean, that's impressive. They were able to get ahead of that. And it'll be interesting to see what they do, because that's honestly a school they've really hit on the guys they've gotten and had to, because they don't have a ton of money.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job. I mean, their defense was electric this year, and Lenore Sellers, they gave him time to develop. He developed over the course of the year. Robbie Ashford back in the portal. What is this? Yeah. Is going to be his 5th team? 4th?
I think it's his 3rd.
Oregon,
Auburn, and South Carolina.
So this will be his 4th team.
Oh yeah. No.
So, as Jalen Ramsey once tweeted at a former teammate at Florida State, John Franklin, who transferred 3 times.
The quarterback?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not the program, my dude.
Wasn't that guy in Last Chance U? He went to Auburn. Yeah, that's funny.
He kept transferring around, and Jalen Ramsey like tweeted that with a Kermit the Frog like teacup thing. They were actual teammates at Florida State.
That's pretty funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Well, we were gonna keep it short tonight. I know we're going kind of over time, but yeah, let's get back together and at least I of course I probably will bet the Bulls, but like I really don't want to. Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen in any of these games. I mean, you just never know who's playing, whose coaches are. I mean, it's just crazy. But I do think we should do a preview pod for the playoffs. Travis Hunter probably gonna win the Heisman this weekend, right?
Dude, have you seen the odds on it? It's like minus 2,500. There were multiple, like a bunch of sports books took it off the board after, like, before rivalry Saturday.
Yeah,
so, yeah, he's gonna win.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's hard to argue against it. I mean, we haven't seen something like this. You know, being elite at two different positions, playing all those snaps in a long.
Dude, I didn't know he had 14 touchdowns. like,
yeah.
I thought he just had oh, he's pretty good at both, because like you see Twitter all the time, and it's like, I will say, man, I think honestly, the best story, one of my favorite stories of the entire season was Colorado. Like we were hard on them before the season.
Yeah.
The moment that O-line thing happened, I think something finally clicked, or somebody got in his ear and was like, "Hey, fucking stop." Yeah. And it's been a lot of fun to watch, man. It's been a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, I don't know when the next time we'll be on is. But like, I don't want to break. I'm not going to break down every bowl. I'm not doing that.
No. Sure. But we should definitely preview the playoffs and talk about, first of all, how stupid the system is right now, where like Oregon was basically incentivized to lose their conference game because it was going to give them an easier path to the playoff or to the finals. Like Clemson's ranked fucking 15th, yet they're the 4th. Like, it's just so stupid.
Dude, everyone, this has like been very frustrating, because everyone will be like, the committee got it right. It's like, you're just talking about Bama. And listen, confirmed what we've all known for years. Like, everyone hates Bama.
Yeah.
And I get why you would be frustrated after last year. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But like, they didn't deserve to be in. But my whole thing is, like, if we're talking about the committee got it right. Okay. I'm going to push back on that for a second, because Boise State is the 3 seed. Boise State.
But that's not the committee, though, right?
Yes.
Because of how high they were ranked, I guess.
Because you can only get a bye if you played and won the conference championship.
Right. So there's got to be another team that won the conference championship.
Clemson.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's hilarious. Arizona State, they're the 4 seed. What's hilariously fucked up about this whole thing is, think about how much time it probably took to build this idea of, like, here's how we're going to do the 12-team playoff. Here's the parameters. Here's the rules. Here's how we'll get this whole thing worked out. The entire model was built off of 5 power conference. Like that was the whole thing. And so they were like, okay, here's the thing, guys. Here's what we have right now. Look, we got Group of 5, we got Power 5, we got a Pac-12 still. And then they were like, so we're going to do a 12-team playoff. You guys have been complaining about 4. We're going to do 12 teams. But we'll tell you, it's pretty much like solely based off we got to have 5 conferences. They're like, okay, cool. Fucking 3 months later, we're going to do 4 conferences. Also, none of them are going to have the same amount of teams in them. 6, see you then.
Yeah. To me, it's an easy fix. If you win your conference, I think you get into the playoff. It doesn't give you an automatic bye. And you just seed the way, like, the rankings are, like, I feel like a normal fucking human would. And you make the 1 seed have the easiest path, no matter what. And
yeah,
that way, if you get a Clemson who doesn't deserve to be in, but they won the conference, then you could put them as the fucking 12 seed, and they have to play the number 1 overall seed. Like,
right.
Nothing makes sense right now. But
I hope Bama schedules Mercer 4 fucking times a year. I hope we play him once a month.
Isn't this the only year of this, or do we have one more year of this and then it switches again?
I thought this was the only year they're going to 14, but then I read I think it might be 2026.
Okay.
So, I mean, dude, again, what Kirby said to all year long. Awesome.
All right. Well, let's get together soon when we can preview the playoffs. We'll pick some winners. I think we did a pretty good. Right now, I feel good about the picks because I think I had Oregon and Georgia in the final.
We had the top team in the top 10 that was most likely to drop out. Michigan got that one.
Ooh, yeah.
Said that Bama was going 9-3, was going to miss the playoff. Got that one.
I'll go back and listen, but I think I think I said that Ole Miss would be the surprise to miss the playoff just because I feel like Lane would blow it.
Yeah, you're spot on with that too.
I might just be making that up to make myself sound better, but
I said that I thought Carson Beck was gonna be packing too, so that was like got that one.
I think you mentioned Travis Hunter for Heisman as well.
I had Dylan Gabriel.
No, not for the winner, but like long shots that could hit. We talked about that.
Also said DJU. So.
Oh. And with that, we will see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a long time. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. We'll be back.